All right, guys, welcome to day 3. So y'all can probably see me in the corner. There goes my freaking dog, as usual. Okay, this is something that if you took drawing 1 with me, you've probably seen before, but we're just going to do a little bit of a quick review because it's going to help you with what we're doing today in class. I know that on the first day I talked to y'all about the word gesture drawing, and hopefully you guys realize that you can gesture draw for anything, not just a human figure. But just a reminder that in gesture drawing or in figure drawing in general, a lot of drawings of people start out as a gesture drawing first, because one awesome thing about drawing people is the many different poses that a person can make when they are posing, because our bodies are so versatile. Think about athletes and dancers and musical artists, when they're like performing on a stage, or, actors and things like that. Like there's just so many things that your body can do. And it's the job of the artist to be able to draw a person's body in all of these different poses and not just standing straight up and down. Okay. So in these gesture drawings, you notice like some of them literally almost look like stick figures, but they still have lines that show all that movement, not those slow contoured outlines that I showed you guys on the first day when I made that green shoe that was ugly. Okay, so these are all different examples of how different artists kind of break up the figure using these more loose gestural like marks. Okay, if a person was standing like this, and notice the subtlety here, they're not standing straight up and down. There, you can see, even though this is like a stick figure right here, you can see because of the line here where they put the hips, and because of the differences in the legs, that the person has their hand on their hip and their hips are kind of swayed to one side as opposed to their hips being centered over their body. So even in a stick figure that might have only taken 5 or 10 seconds to draw, I can see the difference between a leaning pose and a standing straight up and down pose. Okay. And these are done really quickly in a typical, drawing session. Like you see here, it says 18, 19, 20. When you go to college, if you were to take a drawing class, they'll have actual models posing live for you, which is what we would usually do in this class. We would all be each other's models, but because of Zoom, that's really, really challenging to do. And they'll do 20, 30, 40 different poses sometimes in a day of gesture drawings, just trying to practice capturing that pose, not really worried about, people's faces or their shoes. Okay. And look at these crazy scribbly lines. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about when I was talking about chalk outlines. Okay. We've been working on this for 2 days about really putting our marker or our pencil or our paintbrush, even, because you can do this with painting too, down on the paper and letting your arm move. Okay. When you put your hand down and you sit your arm down on the table, and the only part of your body that moves is your fingers. Y'all look, I've been drawing all day. See how my hands are like blue. Okay, and only your fingers move, and you move at this very controlled rate. You get this very, I'm trying to think of the word, this very boring, still outline that shows no expression, that shows no movement. Sorry, that was my timer for something else. Okay, and it looks very, very, very elementary. This is the sign of a confident artist. This is a sign of an artist who is afraid to move their hand. Okay. And the more you practice, and the biggest thing is like getting over the fear. Who cares if it looks crappy? Move your hand, move your arm, move your marks. Okay. Because this looks unconfident. This looks shy. This looks scared. Okay. And that's what we want to move away from. Okay. I'm not going to go into proportions so much right now because for these, I'm not as concerned. But if you are interested, if you were to measure a head and then measure down, the human body is about 7.5 heads tall. If that will help you, make sure that you get things right. And then also the bottom of your pelvis is about halfway. A lot of people make the torso, which is this part of the body from your shoulders to your hips. They make this part of the body really, really long, and then they give really short legs, forgetting that your legs are about half of your height. So anyways, here is an example of a 10-second, a 30-second, and a 2-minute. Okay. We're going to do that today, but we're going to do, instead of 10 seconds, we're going to do 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then 5 minutes. Okay. But then you can see the 3 drawings on, hold on 1 second. Ike, stop. How do I pause the recording? Hold on. Where'd my recording go? Oh, I'm in screen share. Stop. Well, anyways, sorry, I was yelling at my dog. Okay, so there we go. That's essentially what we're going to be doing today, but with different colors, and we're going to be doing multiple figures in just a second. But just showing you guys some more looks, especially those of y'all who think that you're going to go into animation or that really like doing the comic books. Like I know when we just did that handmade book, I think I found about 6 of you who had original characters from stories that you'd made, or, you know, characters that you really liked. You've got to be able to put those characters in different poses. All right. Think about Batman and all the different poses that he gets into, or this looks like some guy from Teen Titans. I don't know if you guys remember that, but you've got to be able to make those characters move. And a huge part, if you were going to study animation or illustration, is going to be figure studies, making sure that you can get these figures in these different poses. So just FYI, if you don't like what we do today, you might not want to consider a career in animation or illustration. Okay, these are longer studies just to show you guys some differences. All right. Another thing that a lot of people like to do is focus on what I call the essential line, which is what's drawn in red. Okay, or here, even more obviously, if a person's leaning forward, their essential line goes floop. All right, and you get a little bit of bend in the leg. All right, and then you build the body off of that. So we're going to kind of sort of do this today. We're going to draw multiple figures on the same paper, and they're going to kind of look like they're interacting with each other when we're done. Okay, and then as you build up and study and practice drawing people more and more and more, you can get all different types of things. All right. In college, when you do this, just FYI, I'm just going to go ahead and let you know, your models will be nude. All right. And this guy is almost nude, but not quite. Okay. And that's because really to draw humans, you really have to understand human anatomy. Okay. And I mean, there's a huge reason why when you go to art museums, there's paintings and sculptures of people in the nude. Okay. And it's not considered pornography. All right, it's because it's the artist showing, hey, look at me. I understand human bones and human muscles and human skins, and how the skin is contouring around all these things. But from this pose, my first 10 and 30-second drawings are probably going to look something like this. And then off of that, I'm going to build the rest of his body. Okay. And if you were in drawing one last semester with me, these are some of the many different poses that we drew from, which usually we would do in person, but because of our lovely COVID situation is not necessarily an option. Okay, so I'm going to flip what's it's called? I'm going to flip the camera in just a second so that you can see my sketchbook. All right. And I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to pause the recording for just a second so that we can get started. Okay, so y'all are going to see in just a second that Ms. TG is going to change the slide in the PowerPoint, and she is going to, there are going to be 3 images that you guys are going to draw from today on the big screen. Okay, the first one is going to be just FYI, a picture of a guy playing football. The second one is of a dancer lady posing, and the third one is of a guy breakdancing. Okay. And we're going to draw in a full, sorry, there's my picture from yesterday. Okay, we're going to be drawing from a full spread today, which means that your sketchbook needs to be open all the way. And we're going to put all 3 figures on this spread. So you can have like one here, one here, one here, but just be aware as you're drawing your figures that there are going to be 3 of them. Okay. And we're going to continue with the 1, 2, 3 method that we've been doing all week with the multi-lines. Again, any color combination is fine with me. All right. Yesterday, I kind of did like a purple color combination. Maybe today I'll do a real purple color combination with this kind of lilac red and violet color. I could do, you know, an all greens and blues combination. I could do primary, red, yellow, and blue. We're going to talk about color theory and color schemes and color grouping a lot tomorrow. So tomorrow is our last day, and we'll be doing a 12 by 18 drawing tomorrow outside of our sketchbook. Okay. But I couldn't let y'all go all semester without doing at least one figure drawing. So that's happening today. All right. I think I'm going to do my football player and these 3 colors. And I could do 3 colors for one act or for one drawing, 3 colors for another figure, and 3 colors for another figure. Those are all choices you guys get to make because it's your sketchbook. So I'm only going to make you guys watch me draw one figure because, you know, for the sake of time, and I want y'all to be able to draw. So I just want to make sure I am recording. Okay, I am. Sometimes I demoed one earlier and realized halfway through I wasn't recording. So I do like to check myself just to make sure. All right, so got a football player. Sorry, I'm going to put my phone on vibrate because I'm going to get a lot of text messages today. All right, got my football player, got my first color. I think I'm going to do him in primary, so I'll do yellow, red, blue. Okay, I'm setting the clock for 30 seconds only, which is going to seem like no time at all, but that's okay. Okay, 25, 26, 29, 30. Okay, pressing start and go. All right, first things first. Essential line, he's twisted. He's got one leg going that way. This leg's kind of going down like that. Ooh, this is going to be challenging to draw. Then he's got an arm and another arm. Maybe I'll get a chance to draw the football. Then his head's kind of here, right? I know I'm drawing in yellow, so I'm really hoping that you guys can see, and my timer is about to go off. So here I go, trying to make it work. Maybe I'll draw a little bit more off of his body in that time. Okay, that's how far I got. Let me make sure that y'all can see that and it's not being blinded out. Okay, good. All right. Oops, cancel, stop. Okay, switching to my next color. How long did I say I was giving y'all? I don't even remember. 1 minute. Woo, not a lot of time. Next color. All right, I'm switching to 0 seconds and 1 minute on my timer, which if y'all don't believe me, I can put my timer right there and go. Oh, hold on. Be nice if I had the picture up so I could see it. Look at Miss Walker losing time. All right, I'm going to try to get some of the shape of his chest here and his shoulder kind of accurate. Might have made him a little bit too wide the first time. He's got an elbow here, so I might kind of draw that. Then there's kind of a spiky hand and a spiky hand. This arm is coming out from behind his chest back here. Okay, and then his head, which I'm going to put that kind of central mark so I can know where his head is. It's kind of there. Then he's got a turn, so I can almost kind of see like his butt, right? And he's super muscular, so I'm going to give him a big old thigh. All right, and then he's going to have his knee, and then his legs coming down that way. He's got a calf, so I'm going to put like a little curve there for some muscle. And his shoe and his foot is going to look real broken for a second because it's going back into space. That's something called foreshortening, which I wish I had time to talk to you guys about this semester, but things just fly. Then I've kind of got another knee here. And that might be a little bit too sharp of a curve. Another knee, right? An ankle, and then a foot coming down that way. How is my timer doing? Did my timer even go off? I know I pressed start. I didn't press start. Crap. Okay. So I have no idea. I could have sworn I pressed start. This is what happens to my life when I'm trying to record and make something decent. So hopefully that was a minute. I might have gone a little bit over. If I did, I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. And then I really hate my life sometimes. I try so hard to be a good teacher. Okay. So it looks something like this after a minute. Hopefully that wasn't too much longer than a minute. Ooh, he's a little, I got to fix some proportional stuff there. Okay. But now is kind of a good time to check. Okay. Here's the top of his body. Here's the bottom of his body. Here's kind of the middle. Did I do a decent job of doing like halfway? I do have to remember that his legs were bent. So there might be some changes there in proportion. I have one head 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 7.5. So not bad proportion wise. This leg probably needs to come out and down a little bit. So I'm going to work on all of that in my 5-minute study, which I'm not going to make you guys necessarily watch, because you have to do this not just to one body, but to 5 bodies or to 3 bodies. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to like pause my recording, finish drawing, show you guys what it looks like, then show you guys my next figure, then show you guys my next figure so that y'all can get an idea of what the whole drawing is supposed to look like. And then y'all can get started. So I'll be back in just a second with hopefully semi-decent product. Bye. All right, so 5 minutes, it's not totally perfect. I didn't really get his face in, but I did try to adjust the shape and put in a center line, and I gave him a little bit of ear and some hair. I drew in the ball. He's a little, sorry, that's, my timers keep going off in the randomest places. I do think I made him a little bit too skinny, so I tried to move his back out a little bit and then give him like a little bit more of a butt. And then I kind of colored in his shorts a little, so hopefully y'all can see that. And I kind of gave him some musculature in his arm. And then, you know, you can come back and do some little hatching or cross hatching if you want to give him some shadows. But again, like it's not detailed, okay? This is a 7-minute drawing in total or 6.5-minute drawing in total. So it's not like I had the time to draw his eyes, his nose, his mouth, etc. Okay, what I didn't do though is draw a little tiny figure this big. Okay, see how I'm going to put 3 figures on this page, but see how this page is kind of full. I might even have these figures end up overlapping each other a little bit, which could also look kind of cool. Okay, I probably should have put him a little bit more to the left, but it happens. Okay, so I'm going to draw the second figure next, which is the ballerina. Okay, and I'll show you what she looks like. And then I'll do the same thing with the third figure, which is the break dancer. Okay. And you can get really creative. You can like turn your sketchbook side, whoops, as I hit stuff, you can turn your sketchbook sideways and do one figure here and one figure here. But I'm going to try to make it look like almost like it's like a mural or something. And it's got all these different figures kind of on it. All right. So I'll let y'all see what that looks like in just a second. All right. So sorry, my phone's being stupid again. Okay. One thing that I did with her, and this arm is a little broken. I actually spent a little bit less than 5 minutes just because I'm rushing, trying to get you guys to see all of this. She's still probably a little bit skinnier than I could have wanted her to be. So, you know, I can bring some lines out a little bit to change that and make her, it's interesting. I'm drawing from an angle, or maybe it's just my camera. Maybe my camera angle is making me a little skinny. I'm not really sure, but want to turn this way though so you can see my whole sketchbook. I would rather, notice she doesn't have a foot. Okay, I would rather the foot go off the page than for me to shrink her legs and make them too small to make her foot fit. So if I measure halfway, all right, like that, head to torso, then torso to foot, okay, her foot does not fit. And if I were to draw her foot here, she would look like she had like half of a calf. Okay, so I would rather you draw so big that your images go off the paper than for you to stunt someone and shorten their legs. And that's the biggest mistake most people make, is they make the torso too long and they make the legs too short. Okay, so now I've got to somehow creatively figure out how I'm going to get my break dancer guy to fit on here so that we've got like a whole spread of people. Okay, so I'll do him and then you guys can get started. Okay, guys, so here we go. Ta-da! I ended up fitting these 2 characters on this one and this guy here, but you know, you can, it's your sketchbook. You got to figure out how you want to arrange it. What I think is kind of fun though, is it kind of sort of becomes this like scene, and you've got these 2 people here that are like interacting with each other and overlapping, like see her hands going over him, his hands going over her. And none of that really bothers me. My markers are kind of running out a little bit because I've been drawing so much. Well, y'all can see, I literally got this sketchbook just for my maternity leave, and you can see how many pages I've gone through. So that's all right. But again, and this foot is a little bit off, but again, it's just about capturing the pose, okay? The pose of a person. And I also kind of want to emphasize to y'all, I don't know if y'all can see my hands. Okay, but you know, when you're really working and getting creative as an artist, this is what happens. Okay, so don't like, you know, that's never going to happen to your hands if this is your line. Okay, or even worse, this. Okay, so, you know, all we're trying to do, not worrying about things being perfect, not worrying if it looks like crap or if the proportions totally off, is just trying to get the whole figure drawn as quickly as you possibly can by moving your entire fingers, wrists, elbows, and shoulders, moving your entire arm, you know, and just letting the marks happen. Okay. Every time you practice this, you'll get a little bit better. Sorry that I'm not there, you know, to give you guys feedback in person, but y'all will see this photograph on the slide. Okay. So you'll do one figure, 30 seconds, switch colors, 1 minute, switch colors, 5 minutes. Okay. Then we'll put up the next figure, 30 seconds, switch colors, 1 minute, switch colors, 5 minutes. Okay. Then she's going to put up the next figure, same thing, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes. So it should take about 30 more minutes. Okay, so hopefully I didn't take too long so that you guys have time to finish this live in class today. All right, see y'all tomorrow. Bye.